Today I'm going to give you some information on oral hygiene and based on the body types. So as you all know, there is Vata, Pitta and Kapha type of a body. So firstly we'll discuss about the Vata tongue. So with the Vata tongue, we would see that there are a lot of cracks on the tongue, and the tooth, if you look at it, there are a lot of gaps and irregular tooth. So for this type of a body or the tongue, what you need to do is make sure you're using mild toothpaste which is not salt based or any harsh chemicals like fluoride in it. Rather go for charcoal or oil based paste. So what you need to make sure is, since it is very drying, you have to make sure that you use small quantity of paste while brushing, and do not brush too hard on your gums or your tooth. Always make sure there are smooth circular movements on the tooth. After you finish the brushing, make sure you take a little bit of oil in your forefinger, index finger, and then you massage your gums gently, clockwise and anti-clockwise, both up and down. You can go for oil pulling. So when you go for coconut oil or sesame oil, when you go for oil pulling, make sure you keep the oil in your mouth and swish it around nicely for around 3 to 5 minutes. And along with this, if you have too much of Vata, you also would be facing constipation symptoms as well. So in such case, you can also go for oil drinking. So whatever you have swished around, once it has nicely digested with your saliva, go for drinking of the oil, and that is going to give you a nice bowel movement. So this is for the Vata type. The second comes the Pitta type. With the Pitta type of a tongue and the tooth, you're going to see that the tongue is going to be pretty red in color, and the gums are also going to be inflamed and receding. So you also see that there are sometimes bleeding if you go for hard brushing. So with the Pitta type of composition, what you need to make sure, again, you should not be using too much of a paste. Go for mild toothpaste which doesn't have salt or spicy toothpaste. Definitely go for very less amount. And when you brush your tooth, again, make sure you're not hurting your gums. Again, oil pulling is very good for the Pitta type of a constitution. Never go for scraping your tongue, because already your tongue is also inflamed. Then the papilla with the little taste buds that's on your tongue are going to be eroded and inflamed. So avoid too much of tongue scraping, or totally avoid it. The oil pulling is also excellent remedy for the red tongue. Next comes the Kapha type of a body, which is you see that there is a coating, white coating, there is slippery tongue, and also you see that your teeth are nice and structured, your gums are pretty good. So here you can go for a paste which is salt based, clove based. You can also go for so many of the herbal toothpaste. Different brands are available by Patanjali, Dabur, Ayush, and any of the brands you can go for. So here oil pulling is not necessary, but there are certain researches which show that oil pulling is good for coated tongue, which could be because of a fungus or a virus, because this coconut oil does have anti-inflammatory, anti-fungal properties. It is very, very helpful, but make sure you don't drink the coconut oil. So these are some of the remedies for different Vata types. Now in case you have an oral cavity, like in Kapha type of a people, because they are rich, the blood is rich, it's heavy, so you could always get a chance of a cavity. So whenever there is a cavity, what you could do is you could go for, rather than going for an aesthetic or analgesic creams, go for clove oil, put some oil in the cotton and then place it on your tooth, whichever is inflamed. Or you can just crush a clove and put the powder on the tooth. This is one remedy, but if you have a dental cavity, then you have to visit a dentist to make sure it doesn't spread to the other tooth. So these are the few recipes that I have told you. There are a lot other remedies. There are acupressure, there are water treatments, and these are the few remedies. If you follow in a day-to-day basis, you are going to have a good dental hygiene.